The Pineal Gland by R. Lamprecht from FIGU Bulletin 70, translated then summarized by Robyn Foley May 2010. Because the sense of conscious perception is at this time mostly undeveloped and therefore not available for us, we are missing out on seeing the effects of the invisible vital electromagnetic universe everywhere around us and within us. Research done by Professor Dr. Pressman demonstrated that our bodies react to external fields of energy, and that organisms, including our bodies, are transmitters and receivers of electromagnetic messages. Thus, it is the nature of the human brain, via the nervous system, the hypophysis, hypothalamus and also the pineal gland that this occurs, and if we were able to perceive these messages, this electromagnetic information, then an unexpected diversity of information would be available to us and also open up another form of communication including mind reading. But how is this energy created? In Billy's book Die Psyche, page 62, he says that the thinking generates enormous amounts of energy, each thought sending out waves of energy of the highest frequency and heading out into the breadths of the universe where according to their nature they influence and modify. Thinking is generated by the human consciousness block, which embodies within itself the personality, thoughts, feelings, all emotions and all electromagnetic forces and vibrations created that distinguish and control humans. And where does the driving force of thoughts come from? The force that is used to impel the thoughts comes not from the person himself but originates from creation, which then flows from the universe to the spirit and then into consciousness. Die Psyche, page 51. For clarification, the spirit of the human, the tiny part of creational energy, animates the human body. The consciousness, the material consciousness, also contains the personality, the subconscious, the memory and character block of the person as well as reason, hence mind and rationality respectively, the intellect and evolving intelligence. Creation is that which is responsible for the universe, for all life and all existence. It is the archetypally measurable and greatest force one can imagine. Creation is the being and not being / non-existence of life. It is the most immense mass of spiritual energy that can exist. It is spirit in the purest form and immeasurable in its wisdom. Once the fine material thought vibrations have been emitted at the speed of light, then all that is needed is the brain and antenna of a suitable receiver of the fine material fluidal energies and fluidal forces in order to take them up and interpret them. Billy writes on page 30 in the FIGU Special Bulletin No. 38, naturally the wave frequencies of the fine material vibrations thereby play a decisive role, whereby not every human can therefore receive the same wave frequencies and not everyone can tune his fine material senses to the same degree onto near, or very distant impulses and information, which are directed at him. Therefore, through the mental connection, there must be a certain similarity to the wave frequencies so that messages from dying ones or otherwise from fellow humans can be received, whether it is sounds, thoughts and feelings or visionary images, and so forth. Were that not the case, then, worldwide, all humans would simultaneously, and in unison, capture the same impulses and data in infinite number from all fine material radiations. But that would not only lead to chaos, rather the entire humanity would become insane and crazy, because they would not be able to cope with the entire torrent of all the impulses and information. Translated by Guys. The brain and consciousness are structured and there is a built-in system for protection from constant stimulation from the fluidal fine material vibrations from other people's fine dungeon. English translation: spiritual fine sensitive feeling, thoughts and feelings which could be too much to cope with. For this process our consciousness block works closely together with the pineal gland. The correct functioning of the pineal gland, known also as the epiphysis, is extremely important evolution-wise for people to move outside the material perceptive faculty into the fine material sense area, to shape, promote and maintain our abilities and to improve and strengthen the immune system for our mental and physical health and increased vitality. Because our ancestors were able to actively use the pineal gland for their own benefit, they were able to perceive the non-physical fine structured substance, the source of this perceiving being their seventh sense, Empfinden. The reality is that there are not only the five senses but seven. Das Gefühl feeling corresponds to the sixth sense, which is associated with instinct, where conscious or unconscious thoughts give rise to feelings. Without these thoughts there are no feelings instinctual. The seventh sense, often falsely called extrasensory, is Empfinden, and is a fine material sense which lies beyond normal material perceptive faculty. Thus coarse material equals measurable, tangible, palpable, tactile. Fine material equals not measurable as yet, not tangible, not palpable, is of a spiritual energetic nature. Semi-material equals measurable, perceptible, but not tangible. For example, gas, water. We need our pineal gland to work as an antenna, a transmitter and receiver, in order to have an improved capacity to perceive and define external vibrations. Over time, in humans, the pineal gland has receded and atrophied, shrinking in size from 3 centimeters to a few millimeters, because people have placed too strong an emphasis on the purely material. We lack the necessary consciousness, knowledge and skills to have more energy flow through the pineal gland in order to consciously sense the fine material electromagnetic fields surrounding us. We have also unconsciously set up a barrier to perceiving the seventh sense, suppressing the function of the pineal gland, also known as the third eye, so it cannot do its job as a relay station of the fine material senses. For those who can use it, the pineal gland works as a sensor picking up fine material electromagnetic fields, but this is rare these days. It is these fine material electromagnetic fields, produced by thoughts from the brain, which are used for telepathy, levitation, teleportation and clairvoyance and remote viewing. With some effort, the pineal gland can very slowly grow in size again, and carry out its functions. The pineal gland developed from the eye, thus called the inner, third eye, and is switched on and off by light, electromagnetic fields and chemicals, and is involved in various processes, including the production of the neurotransmitter serotonin, and the hormone melatonin, and therefore promotes sleep and its quality and immune system stimulation, heart circulation and cell regeneration. Eggertsberger, in his book Geheimer Lebensenergie p.52, says that if our vitality is weak, then our instincts will predominate over our aware consciousness, allowing aggressions, fears and greed to arise, which manifests as quarreling, jealousy, wars and racism. On the other hand, when our vitality is high, we have the benefit of our consciousness and our brain, including the pineal gland. Eggertsberger goes on to say that this increase in vitality positively affects the organs, and thus the immune function. The author continues saying that in Billy's book Meditation als Klarazit he writes that meditation is the method of choice to increase the vitality to the brain and pineal gland. On p.17 of this book, Billy says that if one meditates and forms no thoughts whatsoever, and this state is maintained, then from this love, peace and freedom, as well as harmony and balance will arise. So, why is it that stops people from meditating daily? The type of brainwaves that occur, whether alpha, beta, delta, gamma and theta, is influenced by our current state, and is not usually balanced between both hemispheres of the brain in our normal waking state. When one meditates deeply, these brainwaves become more ordered and synchronized. As mentioned on p.123 of Billy's book, if the hemispheres are brought in line with each other, it promotes health, well-being, via the release of hormones and neurotransmitters, affecting the nerve cells. Throughout time, man has ignored this meditative state, overpowering it with the world of thoughts and feelings of the awake state. But a well-balanced being/person has both brain hemispheres balanced, which can be achieved by resolving inattentions, thereby supplying the pineal gland increasing perceptive ability. So, the desirable state of the pineal gland is to steer our thoughts in the right direction so that appropriate feelings originate, making us peaceful.